hello. Bubbly in hand this time. I have a lot to celebrate this Wednesday. Whine, the 2 weeks after my full vaccination is over, that period when I can consider myself fully vaccinated. And I have to toast to that because even though I'm going to wear my mask wherever I have to wear my mask, it makes me feel a little more confident. And also because hopefully, knock on wood, in 2 weeks, I get to go see my parents in Puerto Rico, who I haven't seen for a year and a half. So that's the longest we've been without seeing each other in person. And you know how much they mean to me. So this Wednesday Whine, I feel like celebrating that and saying hello to all of you. I'm Ana Belaval. This is Wednesday Whine, live from Chicago, Illinois. And I hope you all had a great Mother's Day. Those of you who are moms, that no one bothered you, that they took care of you, and that, like me, you spent the day drinking mimosas. All right, people. I don't know if you saw my post earlier with the pants that I just don't like. And I posted a couple of weeks ago, I wore them once again. And why do we do this to ourselves? When I bought them, I didn't like them. I was convinced to buy them. And I've owned them, believe it or not, for 2 or 3 years. It's going to be 3 years this October. I wear them once every season. I don't feel comfortable in them. And thanks to the pandemic weight, I feel even more uncomfortable in them. And I put them on the air. Not on the air. I put them on social media. And my friend Heidy, who is one of the most popular stylists here in Chicago, said, don't throw them out. Let's try one more thing. And she's like, take the pockets out and close them up. And hopefully that takes care of the pull. And that gave me an idea. A lot of people don't think about tailoring their clothing, about having a good tailor. I think people who are petite or very short think about it. People who are very tall but I'm like average. So if I buy it and it doesn't look good on me, if I try it on, it doesn't look good on me, I don't look for ways to fix it, right? I'm probably lucky that way. But Heidy and my friend Sanem love tailors. They swear by them for themselves, for their clients. So I wanted to bring Heidy not only for that, but I'm going to have Heidy look at some of my items and tell me if they should go or they should stay, if I should take them to the tailor or not. And also when the trend is for you, when the trend is not for you. She has some great ideas about how you can keep it real with fashion and you can feel comfortable, because I decided that during 2021, I am not going to be uncomfortable anymore. I'm not going to wear itchy sweaters. I'm not going to wear Spanx with pants. I am going to liberate my gut and let it be. So Heidy is laughing on the other side. This is Heidy Best from BECLOTHESMINDED. Good evening, my friend.
Hi, how are you? Oh, yes.
Cheers to you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you, too.
All right, Heidy, you want to see the pants?
I do want to see the pants.
All right.
Now, I have to qualify this as, I obviously did not design them. I have no incentive for you to keep them. I wasn't the one that told you to buy them in the first place. But here's what I want you to do, okay? Step a little bit closer to the mirror. I know I won't see your face for a second. Okay. I will say this, Anna, 100%, they look so much better.
You think so?
Lining. Now, I will say this. I have a good idea of where your underwear starts and where it begins. And I don't want to call you out, but I know I just did. In sidebar, you can totally, get upset with me for that. But
no,
sometimes with a pant like what you have on, one, it's an amazing color, right? Amazing. However,
that's why I like it. And I like the pearls.
Yes. Oh, the button detail with the pearls. Totally. Sometimes with that fabric in a brighter color like that, we can find flaws, not in our body, but yeah, of course in the body, but we can find flaws very easily in fabrics when it's a brighter color like that, because it almost it brightens the little tiny flaws that, let's say if you bought it in navy or in black, I bet you anything you would not have focused on the things that you're focusing with the yellow. Now, I will say this, having seen them before with obviously the lining and how long the lining is, you didn't need all that lining. A lot of pants, no matter how expensive they are, if there's a pocket lining, sometimes the pocket lining, I don't know if you found this, but with my clients, I found this, sometimes the lining goes almost to like top of the thigh, mid-thigh.
The thigh.
And
Yes.
the thing is when you have a slant pocket like that, and then you have a long pocket lining that's maybe not in a very thin fabric, well, right away, it's adding 5 to 10 pounds to an area that most women already are self-conscious about. 2, with that beautiful pearl detail of the buttons that you like, that in itself kind of creates some of the little pooling effect because it's not a solid pocket going all the way down, right? So when you had the fitter sew the pocket lining down, then you had him or her remove the pocket lining completely. 1, you reduce the thickness in front of your kind of thigh area. 2, you took away some of that fabric that's doing some further wrinkling, causing some further puckering. Now, what I will say is none of us can hide from the sins of the pandemic. So if we indulged in more carbs, if we indulged in more sugar, if we indulged in more, hey, you know what? You're right. We're gonna accept that. We're gonna have a little bit of a pity party at maybe, but then you know what? We're gonna move on. Now, I still agree with my original statement, and I agree with Sanem. Don't get rid of those pants. Still don't get rid of them, okay?
Yeah.
Hold on to them. If you notice that other things in your closet are starting to fit better,
try them on again.
Okay. You wouldn't wear Spanx underneath them because, believe it or not, it's going to add on to that, and it's going to kind of make you feel even more self-conscious. I do love skinny breeches. That is a product from Spanx and similar products to skinny breeches. It's almost as thin as pantyhose. I mean, almost as thick. But it gives you the kind of smooth, slim hold that a Spanx typically does. It's so thin that whatever you put on over it just like glides over it. But I still feel like because of the fabric of the pant, I still feel like because of the color of the pant, I'd rather you just hold on to them until you notice and then cutting back on sew. Or these pants fit better, and I notice that when I'm my heaviest, they don't fit so great. So maybe I'll give the yellow another chance. So
you know that what I do now is because my 13-year-old is tall and a woman. I give them to her, and I say, I just gave her a skirt, Heidi, that is not closing as well. And I said, here, wear this until I lose some weight, and I'll take it back.
And that's a good incentive because then if she is wearing it and you see it on her, you're like, I remember why I bought that for myself. I'm going to get back into that. But like, honestly, those pants are it. They're awesome on you. They already look so much better. And honestly, sometimes just a drive in the car from like, you know, your home to like the destination you're going to be kind of shooting at is like maybe an hour away or 45 minutes away. Sometimes even that's all the kind of breathing room you need for that fabric. I don't want to focus too much on this pant, but since the pant kind of, you know, brought us together and
started the conversation.
Yeah, in this medium. Sometimes when you're not wearing them, obviously, you know, let's not create a real viral moment, but when you're not wearing them, kind of turn them inside out. See if on the underside of the fabric where the seams are, see if there's any extra material, because the other option is if you're like, hey, guess what? I like the way I am post-pandemic. My husband likes the way I look post-pandemic. So this is the body that's going to be moving forward into the year. Then just see if the pants can even be slightly let out. And again, who cares? If it gets you to wear them, if you feel great, if you're like, oh, I have 5 shirts in my closet that will go with this, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? And
I really do have, like, out of pure coincidence, 3 blouses that match. And that's going to take us now to the great tips that you sent me, because Heidi has some great tips that you you can just adopt like this. You don't need necessarily a stylist. You don't need a huge budget. And like in life, a lot of it is organization. And I really love the first thing you said was have an organized closet. But what do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, I should start off by telling you the first thing that I did for a living when I first moved to Chicago was I shopped. And I mean, I shopped for myself. Then I started shopping for my neighbors because they were seeing me come back and like smashing them in the elevator on these old vintage elevators with my shopping bags. And they would ask me like, where are you going? What are you doing? I wish I had time for that. And this is like before identity theft and all of that. And I was like, just give me your credit card. 19-year-old kid, no filter. Give me your credit card. Well, okay. I know you're not going to steal it. Yeah, I know you're not going to steal it. You live in the same building, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how this started on accident. And to this date, almost 20 years later, it's going to be 20 years in January of next year, 2022, I will be able to say in Chicago, I've been doing this for 20 years. And of course, my mom would tell you, I started doing it when I was in middle school and she'd take me shopping on Saturdays. I'd want to shop for everybody else. But starting with
wow, that's how it was. You like to shop for other people.
Yes. And it kind of, from shopping for those first early, I wouldn't even call them clients. They were literally my neighbors. I didn't even know I could charge. I literally was like, bye. And they're like, how much do I owe you? And I like made up some arbitrary number. But I think what happened was that first person I shopped for was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. I love this. Like, what would I wear this with? And I was like, oh, can I go in your closet? And she was like, you're already here. Like, you're sitting Indian style in my bed. Like, go in my closet. And so I like went in her closet and I was like, whoa. It was crazy. It was like if the rack was this big, the amount of clothes that were on it were well outside the frame of what could really fit, right? And so the organization can mean a lot of things to different people. For one person, that might mean having less since we're talking about women, we'll just stick with women. Yeah. You know, I work with women and men, but for this, we'll just say women. For some women, it's having less in her closet. That helps her keep it organized. That helps her find things. That helps her put outfits together, okay? That's one client that I meet. For another client, her organization is, I have all my sleeveless tops together. I have all my short sleeve tops together, long sleeve, then my skirts, then my pants, and so on and so forth, right? So it's categories. That helps her keep things organized. And for others, they like to kind of color code things. And we can like get into so many specifics, but for me, I find that a combination of both is like my Bible. Okay. I don't like to say I have rules because I just think that's so obnoxious. I'm not like the end all be all, but I will say creating categories in your closet, within those categories, doing some color coding where like all my white sleeveless tops are together, then all my blacks are together. And I like to do lightest to darkest. My husband would say that I maybe have some OCD, but it's like functioning. But like, I would say that works for me. Categorization and then kind of doing a lightest to darkest. That way, if this top I wanted to wear is in the laundry or at the dry cleaner, I just look for what was next to it. Oh, well, I have these other two white sleeveless tops. So that's why I think organization is key. And I know you're going to get to the next point, and then it kind of moves in.
But I have to say, I have a YouTube video about how I organize to my closet and how I'm able to maximize my outfits. And it has gotten so much better when someone suggested I color coordinated, even though, and it was my husband who said, do it however way you want it. You don't have to be like all yellows, all reds, because I wear a lot of prints.
Of course.
And Heidi, it has changed the way I find my outfits, and it has made it quicker in the early mornings because, you know, I dress in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
I have to be really quiet and I can't like turn on lights. It has to be, and even with my prints, I'll go, okay, these are all the prints that have black as a background. These are all the prints that have browns. And it has really, really made a difference. Anyone out there doing that? I mean, organizing your closet, and how do you prefer it? Do you prefer it with color coordination? Do you prefer it short sleeve, long sleeve? Do you like it with, I got to get less clothing so that the clutter doesn't overwhelm me? Leave us a message and let us know what you think here on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're joining us from. Our second tip is, wait, here we go. This one, what you have versus what you need. Oh my God, how many people buy stuff just because it's on 50% clearance and then you end up with 7 white blouses?
Oh my gosh. Ana, you just described so many of my original clients when this was like 100 years ago. You know what I mean? It was like early 2000s. But I will say my first, kind of styling tip about starting with an organized closet, if you have that basic down, it's much easier to know what you have versus what you need. Like I said, that first, client of mine, a lot of what I pulled was just off of, I see her in the elevator. I know what she looks like. These are the credit cards she gave me. So I went to these stores and saw like, oh, this would look so good on her. And this would look so good on her. And I didn't have any sort of fear over what I was pulling for her because I'm like, the worst case scenario, she doesn't like it. I'll return it. I have her credit card. It's not a big deal, right? So when I didn't know what she had first, I didn't even think about that because this was my first time doing it for somebody else. Like, really? When I got back and she tried all these things on and then she started asking me, what would this go with? What would go, with this? I went into her closet and that's when I realized, okay, no wonder you like some of the stuff I pulled. Like, you have some things that are like almost the same idea. You know what I mean? And if I had known that, I wouldn't have pulled that because in a sense that was almost duplicating what she had when maybe I would have pulled this item because I didn't see it in her closet and this would have gone with this skirt that I saw in her closet. So it's almost like I liken it to when you're going to go to the grocery store and you don't take stock of what's in your pantry, what's in your refrigerator, what's in your freezer, and you go. You come back, you bring bread, you bring peanut butter, you bring a carton of eggs, and you bring, whatever. You come back, you spot a full carton of eggs in the refrigerator, not expired, 2 loaves of bread in the refrigerator, and a full jar of peanut butter in the pantry. And so
I just gave bananas to Amelia's tutor because Steve bought bananas and I bought bananas.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. It's almost like you start with your closet organized so you can then create a list of things you're like, I have this skirt, I haven't worn it because I don't have anything to go with it. Take a picture of it. Put it on your list. When you go into a store and somebody inevitably asks, what can I help you with today? Instead of saying just looking, which is the most annoying thing that a person can say to somebody that's working, say, here's a picture of this skirt, use modern technology that we didn't have 20 years ago and say, here's a picture of this skirt. Can you show me some tops that would go with it? One step better, okay, Style Pro, say the price point you're willing to spend. Say if there's any fabrics that you don't love, or tell them what you have already to go with it. So I don't need that. Okay.
But if I'm a Target and a Kohl's where they don't have those kind of people, you do it on your own.
And you have the color in your hand because when I'm in someone's closet, because I go in there first before I take them shopping, if there's any items that client says, I really wanted to wear this, but I don't have anything to wear with it. Actually, sometimes I find something in their closet to wear with it. They just didn't think about it like that. But sometimes I'll say, oh, you know what? You really don't have anything to go with that. So I take a picture of it. And when I go into the store, regardless where I go, I have that visual kind of marker, especially if I'm shopping online for them. And it's just kind of, like I said, creating a little mini shopping list of if I walked into a store today, or if I get an email that says flash sale on Ann Taylor, I've got that picture no matter where I'm at in my phone. I can just log in or walk into the store and I show them, or I just kind of hold it up to like the rack that I'm looking at. And 9 times out of 10, that's how I find those missing pieces.
When you read that and the next tip you're going to give, I thought about my mother immediately. How many of us have a uniform look? My mom has the same type of shirt in every color and she'll wear it with slacks. obviously, my mom, she looks fantastic. She found what she loved. She's 82 and she tries her trends here and there, but these are her staples, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't venture away from them. But the way to avoid looking like you have a uniform is because you've done that inventory, like you said before.
That's great. And I think when I had emailed you and we were talking about it, I think I had said, like, don't let people expect what you're going to be wearing. You know, don't let like your friends or your coworkers or your family members be able to predict what you're going to be wearing on any given day. And what I mean by that is if stripes are your pattern of choice, if you're like, I love stripes, that's great. Get something with stripes on it. But you shouldn't have 20 to 30 items in your closet with stripes, because it's too much. And, you know, try a different pattern or a different print or a different color. You know, if you're somebody that only wears black, you know, you don't wear anything else, it's like you're not really creating a true style for yourself. And that might not be important to you. Like, and I don't mean you, but that might not be important to some. That's okay. And for those people that they're like, hey, listen, I don't care. This makes my life easier. This is how I'm going to dress. I appreciate that there are people like, you know, you out there that do this for a living, but for me, I don't care. So like I have a uniform, and hey, guess what? We weren't going to meet anyways. I'm not going to be like your stylist. You're not going to be my client. I'm fine with that. Like, you know, be in good health. But for somebody that actually cares and they really are trying to look put together, instead of buying the exact same thing over and over again. You know, employ somebody like myself to help you, even if it's just a one-off. Like, Heidi, help me with 5 outfits. This is my budget. You can do, you know, or show me some new prints that I can wear, or I think I can only wear bootleg pants. Show me a variety, or I haven't found a jean that works for me, so I never wear jeans. It's like, you do kind of have to take a little leap of faith and, you know, realize that it's not that serious and you can have some fun with your look, even if you're not always dressing within your comfort zone.
Got it. All right. Be open-minded to try new styles and silhouettes. See, I want to ask you here about, there's a silhouette that looks really cute on my 13-year-old, and I don't know how to find it for myself, which is the really high-waisted jean, but then the wide-legged, and I feel like it makes me look even shorter.
Well, Ana, you are petite, so.
Oh, thank you.
You know, not just like petite in size, but you're petite in height. So what your daughter can do is going to be different than what you can do. And you know, we all have different body types, and we can do abbreviated versions of the styles or the trends that we really like. So for you, I think you're right on with the high-waisted. You know, you carry your muscle tone in your bottom half and you have a very small little waist. Why wouldn't you want to do high-waisted? That addresses all of your areas that
I love it.
you feel amazing about and maybe you feel kind of self-conscious about. However, with the leg opening, that's where you have to be a little bit more particular about, am I wearing flats? Am I wearing a 2-inch heel or a wedge? Am I wearing 3 inches? When you're wearing a wide leg like that, you can only wear it with a higher shoe. And that's for you, again, because you're on the petite side, that might mean that you have to wear a 3 to 4 inch heel. And that can be a wedge. It doesn't matter, but it still has to give you that 3 to 4 inch height, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to balance out the wide-leggedness of the bottom and not end up being, oh, I'm small here, then I go out here, then I'm small again, then I go out again. And it's a lot. It's a lot for like visually to see all that. And if you're not wearing something that kind of raises you up, sometimes those really great curves that like look awesome, they look different. Because we're not lengthening, we're actually making ourselves look a little bit shorter. So if you want that high-waisted kind of sailor style pant, then you just have to accept that with those pants, you have to get them shortened to a shoe that's going to be like that 4-inch. Still should be comfortable. So most likely a wedge, something you can walk in, especially you do a lot of outdoor segments, but that's just something to keep in mind.
So how do I try out new styles and silhouettes?
So usually it's dedicating a certain amount of time. Maybe it's an hour, and it's going into a place that you can call ahead. You can ask to speak to a manager and just tell them that. Tell them what you told me. You don't have to shop at like a high-end luxury store to get somebody to help you like a personal shopper.
Really?
You just have to know. You can call a place like Ann Taylor or Loft, a Banana Republic, and you can just ask to speak to a manager and just say, I'm calling because for you, I do TV, play that card. Totally play that card. But for anybody else, they can just they can say, listen, I don't have a ton of luck when I go in on my own. I don't have a lot of time to shop. I don't really love shopping, but I would really like to try some high-waisted, wider leg pants. I'm going to bring in like a pair of heels so I can feel good about what I'm trying on. But I was hoping that you could pull maybe 3 to 4 styles like what I'm describing. My size is typically a 6'8". So if you could pull both sizes, I definitely am looking for a black. And as long as you have that black, I'm happy to try on a couple of additional colors, and maybe I'll leave with like a second one. And I can come by this day at this time. Here's my name. Here's my phone number. Does that work for you? Great. And
write that down, everybody.
Yeah. But the thing is a lot of people think, oh, I'm going into Loft, or I'm going into Ann Taylor. Yeah. So like I have to work with a salesperson, and you probably will work with a salesperson, but at least the manager will get that person started and will relay exactly what you said back to them, or the manager will pull it aside ahead of time. Then they'll turn you over to a sales associate. And I've
noticed if you, I'm sorry, Heidi, if you go in a weekday in the morning, or they have the salesperson has a time, and if you like tell them, what do I wear this with? I do that all the time, especially if I use Zara, or if when I'm in Puerto Rico and I'm at Mango, my mom's like, grab that guy, grab that, and I come to the guy and I'm like, do these giant jeans look right? Wait, I'm gonna bring you this belt, and I leave more confident because I have an outfit put together.
Yeah, I think because of COVID right now, the stores are kind of a shorter open time now. It's like before they were opening at 10, now they're opening at 11. Before they were closing at 7 or 8, now they're closing at 6. Yeah. So there's kind of a smaller window. So if you can't go on your lunch hour, if you can't do this, I always try to be as efficient as possible. So when I'm pulling for clients, I still call ahead, and I tell for my other stores that I have email contacts, I email them, but for some stores I just call ahead, and I just say, hey, it's Heidi. I'm coming in, I'm pulling for this person. I'd like to come in at this time, pull ahead of time. And then I'll bring her back at this time. But as somebody calling on behalf of themselves, just ask for a manager. Even some of the sales staff, they don't even know that that's something they can do. So just go straight to the manager. Just say, I have this amount of time. Say I have a half hour. That's it. I have a very short attention span, or I have a very short window of time that I can do this in. This is all I'm looking for. Please don't pull anything else. Once you get there, you say, hi, it's me. I'm looking for Caroline. She's helping me. They get the things, they put it in the fitting room. You bring your shoes, you do your homework, okay? Because you don't want to try it flat-footed. You want to try it the way you're going to be wearing it in life. You'll always look better. And everybody thinks these fitting room mirrors are like skinny mirrors, or the lights are like these beautiful lights. They're not. They're horrible lighting, and the mirrors are fat mirrors. So if you actually look somewhat decent in the fitting room, I promise you're going to look better in like
fantastic outside.
Yeah. But so that's what I say. Like be open to trying new styles and silhouettes, but help yourself out by reducing the amount of pressure that you're under when you're trying these on. But
I love that.
Heads up. Just call. Say, can you put some things aside for me in this size? This is all I want to try on. I'll be in and out. Then you know what? You go in, you try it on. If you're like super happy, you're ready to walk out with a couple of things, then you can say, since we mastered this, could you show me your 2 favorite tops that could go with both of these? Not one top for one pant. I want 2 tops that will go with both, or I want one top that'll go with both.
Gotcha.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. I reduced this to all trends are not for you,
Right.
but I know what you mean is you may not like them. Don't force yourself.
Forget it. You're the boss. It's your money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't buy anything for myself. I don't suggest anything for a client that I don't truly think will work for them or for myself. I don't listen to Gen Z on what I should be wearing now because
where our parts should be.
Yeah, I'm like, hi, boop, boop, I'll wear my part where I want to, and I'll wear what looks best on me because guess what? I've been doing this for longer than you've been alive. So no, I don't take advice from you. Certainly not fashion advice, but like there are some trends that are fleeting. Mm-hmm. There are some trends that every few years come back in style. Or guess what? There's seasonal trends like, you know, Meryl Streep and Devil Wears Prada. Floral for spring.
Yeah, like that. I'm going to age myself, but Diane Keaton and Annie Hall, my mom swears by that look, you know? Yeah.
But I mean, those things, they're kind of classic trends that every so often come back. So for me, the trends that I know in 5 years you can still wear, I'm going to say, hey, this is going to look good on you. Let's try it. And then for something that's
Heidi, you know, some people are saying they hate fitting rooms. Would you tell them to, like my husband taught me to buy, try it at home and return it? Would you recommend that if you have an aversion to fitting rooms?
No, I say do exactly what I said. Call ahead of time. Tell the manager what you want to try on.
Gotcha.
Go into the fitting room. You don't even have to look around. Go straight into the fitting room. You know what? Turn your volume kind of lower on your phone. Put a playlist on or Pandora or, you know, whatever, Spotify. And while you're trying things on, listen to a little bit of music. Get in the mood. Act like you're at your own house. And don't try on 20 things if you can try on 5.
That may be why we hate the fitting rooms, because we bring in 20 things and only 4 work, and we should just start with the 4.
Oh my God. Do you know how many times I take clients in a fitting room? I pulled ahead of time. They just walk straight in. They go right to the fitting room. They try on and they end up walking out with 90%.
With all of it. Yeah.
And like, that might be 20 things, but like I only pull what I have like 95% confidence of what's going to work for that person. And again, I don't have a fear of it because I'm pulling it for someone else that when I look at her, I see only positives. When she looks at herself, she picks out all the negatives. So it's just it's the way you're kind of coming at it that starts things off, you know, on a good foot or on a bad one.
Or on a bad foot. All right. I love mix and match your items. And I think if we circle back to the top, if your closet is organized and if you have it kind of like cataloged, mixing and matching is going to be easy.
Yeah. I maybe wore like a good top for this. I don't know if you can kind of, it's obviously a floral print, but there's like maybe, let's say like 5 colors in it. The background is black. So we talked about, you know, black pattern prints, but then in the print, there's kind of like a beige, there's a pink, there's a salmon, there's like a really pretty sunflower blue, and there's an olive green. Now I'm not like tooting my own horn here, but I like to pick patterns that have multiple colors in it because it allows me to mix that pattern with multiple things in my closet. So obviously you can't see my bottom half, but like today I'm wearing it with a dark green jean to pull the green, like the petal of the flower out. But maybe the next time I wear it, I'll wear it with like a black ripped skinny and booties. And it's a little chilly, so I throw like my black leather jacket over it. Yeah. So when you're mixing and matching your items, what I mean by that is just because you bought this item at J. Crew to go with this other item at J. Crew doesn't mean that you can't split those 2 items up and start mixing them with other like newer and older pieces in your closet.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, like a remix. I love that.
And then it's like the high and low, you know?
Totally.
I just bought these pants that are like rust color at Target, and I bought them with the blouse they came and realized that I have 2 more blouses I can wear them with.
That's perfect.
Or more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This, I swear by this, and I'm gonna be your example. I wore this black t-shirt, statement necklaces, go.
Statement necklaces. I have had this necklace for like 100 years, and people are like, "Oh, is it bones? Is it wood? Is it plastic? You know, like what is it?" And like your statement necklace, like people don't realize these necklaces can fill up an empty neckline. If you're wearing it against maybe like that necklace that you're about to put on right now, if you had like a white or an ivory top, it'd kind of beef it up a little bit. I brought like this kind of green with wood necklace. This kind of like reddish rust necklace has done really well. You know, these little balls with the wood. I mean, the great thing about it is if you're traveling or if you're, you know, at an office or if you're spending your life on Zoom right now, like a lot of us are, the people you're coming in contact with, whether you're presenting or you're talking, I really love that one.
Because you were saying this, I feel like I can wear at night, right? So I've upped it. Like you said, the statement necklace can elevate the outfit. And if you were at the office with this one on, but then you have to go to a cocktail party, you drop this one on and then you're all set.
And the one you have on now, Anna, if you had a white t-shirt and you stopped the necklace right at the neckline, it would look like a t-shirt. Like I
a collar.
Have a Phillip Lynn silk ivory t-shirt that has that sewn directly on it. Your advantage is yours can come off and be put on other things. And
I do that a lot.
Yeah, I love that. And like statement necklaces really can transform a look. And in some cases, it can make like, you know, a $30, you know, dress, you know, like from Target, look like a $300 dress. And
these were, and I'm going to tell you something. This one was like $10 on Etsy. This one is from Chico's from about 5 years ago. And this one my best friend gave me, and it's from Puerto Rico, and it's scuba fabric, like a rubber. And I get more compliments on the jewelry than I do on the outfit. And so I can wear this t-shirt 1,000 times and no one thinks it's the same t-shirt.
Yes.
So yes, thank you, Ed, because Emily says my jewelry game is on point.
Well,
thank you. But I've learned that because I think also that helps if you're the kind that likes a uniform, it switches the uniform around.
Sure.
Don't you think?
I agree. Totally agree.
It makes any simple top look fabulous. You're right, Janet.
Totally.
All right. I love this, and I haven't done this. And you're right. Neutral shoes are the new black.
Yeah, and I hate saying the new black because I have been saying neutral shoes are where it's at for like, at least 15 years. I remember when I was at Neiman's, and I was at Neiman's for like 8 years. I grew up there. That's where I met you. Yeah, I would help women that were like, oh, I'm shopping for date night or, you know, like a formal or, you know, what have you. And like they're wearing, let's say like a short dress or like a skirt, right? Where like their bare legs were going to show. And they would always just like, what shoes are you going to wear with this? And inevitably it would be like black. And I'm like, I'm so confused by this because, you know, first of all, like your skin tone is, you know, like it's tan, like you don't have dark skin, you know, you have like Caucasian skin or, you know, like you have like a nice darker tan or like what have you. I'm like, if we did a similar color to what your skin tone is, it doesn't have to match exactly. It's kind of a perfect moment when it does. But I'm like, if we can do a neutral shoe, that's going to make your legs look so long and lean, whether you're 5 foot or 6 foot. I haven't met a single woman that has not wanted her legs to look longer and skinnier. I just haven't, you know, and so they didn't believe me at first, but as soon as I started like giving them, you know, just try it on. Okay. Just see if you like it. It was like people would be walking out of the store with these neutral shoes on. Like they were like obsessed. And then it was like
when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
Mom, can I wear them out of the store?
Yeah. It was like, it was like that feeling. And so then I think, you know, people just love getting pictures, you know, like I'm with my girlfriends and take a picture while we're out. And remember like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was like, how many times do you have to take the same picture with your friends and you're all like in the sorority pose, like at the restaurant or at the party and you're all I used to get really happy because at a certain point I would start helping friends of friends of friends. And in a single picture, I would be like, there's 6 women that I helped and they're all in versions of neutral shoes. Now, I'm not trying to create carbon copies of like this ideal look for me. So they weren't in the same shoe, but they each based on like, they can be in a 3-inch, they can be in a 4-inch.
And skin color too, because thankfully the industry has heard us and knows that we come in all colors, shapes, and sizes. And finally, our Black friends can find the tone they want and not have to pay, you know, $600 for them.
Thank you. Like, you know, people of color, like they want their neutral, you know, and like I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm basically albino. No, I don't want to white shoe, but
there's
like,
no neutral for you and I. Because you and I are Gasper the Friendly Ghost. So and it's not white.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like it's very clear.
It's corpse-like. It's corpse-like, Heidi.
It's very corpse. Yes, I'm like,
that's what I tell my friends.
What shoe would you put on a dead person? That
what shoe would you put? That's for Ana and Heidi. Yes, because they're translucent. Yes.
If only we were the same shoe size, we could like switch.
Exactly. I love this tip about the jeans because this happens to me all the time. Buy the stretchy jean that it feels nice and tight.
Yes. Okay. I'm just trying to think in my mind, like, can I say something like, can anything go? Like, can I tell you exactly what I tell my clients?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
We're not really on TV.
Okay. Okay. So my clients know I have like a little bit of a sense of humor. And so I want them to feel very comfortable when they're in the fitting room with me. And so when I tell them about how tight I want the jean, I'll say I want them tight. I don't want them to give you a UTI, but I want them tight. So if they laugh.
You don't want them to strangle her. But
yes, I don't want you to have to be put on an antibiotic, but I want them tight. And the reason why I say that is because how many of us have purchased a jean that has stretch in it. And we're like, I'm always this size. I'm always I'm always a size 30, always a 30, always a 30. If I went in and said every single time I'm a size 30 and I just like stuck to that, I'd probably get my jeans perfectly fit 95% of the time. But sometimes I might try on a jean that has like 2 types of stretch in it and I can actually go down to a 29. And so I don't pay so much attention to the size. I pay attention to the fit. So when you're in the fitting room or if you ordered them online, you got them sent to your home, you're trying them on, there shouldn't be any sort of gap in the back of the jeans, okay? There shouldn't be any extra material by kind of like the front section and there shouldn't be any extra material underneath like, you know, kind of the cheeks.
The butt.
It should be like a glove. It shouldn't be like in Greece. Now I'm dating myself, where like you have to lay back on that.
Yeah, no.
The wrench. And,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But it should be really tight. And if there's any question about how much stretch is in the jean you're trying on, if you're in store, just look on the tag. Usually it'll be like 90-something% cotton. And then it might say like 4% elastin and it might say like 10% poly. For others, it might just say 96% cotton, 4% elastin. So, you know, look for the smaller percentages and that'll tell you how much stretch it is. And then you can feel it in addition to that. If you're shopping online, just hit product details and it'll tell you the exact information, like the stretch content.
But what if it gives me muffin top?
Okay, that's okay, Ana, because you can just wear a top that's maybe more tunicky style or a little bit flowy, kind of skirts out a little bit, you know, and for the jeans when they're high-waisted and
they don't give you muffin top.
Then if they don't give you muffin top, we could always tuck our top in a little bit. But in terms of buying stretchy jeans, you really do want them tight. Okay. If they're not tight right off the bat, after a few hours of wearing them, you're going to look, you know, like you have kind of a saggier, you know, front side.
It looks awful.
Yeah, not great.
It looks awful. All right. Why is it so hard for people trying patterns?
Well, because prints are very personal and people are very stuck in their ways. Typically, the longer you've been on this beautiful earth, you think you know everything. And you're like, I can't wear leopard print, or I can't wear floral, or I don't like to wear floral, or I don't like to wear this. And try going through spring, summer with not having any floral in your closet. See how easy it is to find a pattern that isn't floral. It's pretty challenging. Just like if you're going into fall, winter and you don't like animal print. It doesn't mean that you should be forced to try certain patterns, but you should be a little bit more flexible. And sometimes, hey, you don't have to do a big gigantic floral that's taking over the entire shirt or the entire dress, but like this is a very small, subtle floral.
Yes.
And this was better for somebody that's not really floral. And honestly, you know,
geometrics, abstract.
Yeah.
There's stuff that is not necessarily the shape of a rose.
Totally.
You can get just the like splotches.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I think being more open, because what I probably, because I have worked with so many people in TV and I've styled so many photo shoots and commercials and campaigns over the years, I understand that to really, really look good in these pictures and look good face to face in front of people, we have to incorporate some patterns into our solids. So if you're wearing a solid pant or a solid skirt, wearing a printed top, you know, tucking it in or leaving it out that has, you know, I'm wearing a black pant or a black jean. Well, find a top that has maybe a little bit of black in it, but then has maybe a few other colors into it as well. So that way that top looks this way with that black bottom, but then I can also wear it with, it has, you know, burgundy in it, and I have a burgundy skirt. I never wear it. So now I'm gonna, you know, wear it.
So would you say if you have a bit of an aversion or you're skittish about patterns, try a top instead of a dress, because the dress is more limiting?
My gosh, Ana, my work here is done.
Girl, I've been working with you guys for so long that I know all the tricks. Like it's like I could be the spokesperson for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm writing a check right now. No, I think that's a great way to look at it. And I also think too, like, if you're somebody that does like skirts, I'm just throwing that out there, a top is a perfect way to incorporate a little bit of a pattern, because you can tuck that top into the skirt. I love you, Lisa. I love that you love
She loves flower prints.
If you tuck that into the skirt,
handkerchief prints or polka dots can go away to avoid a floral. Now we're talking.
Sure, but technically a handkerchief print like paisley, that's also floral print. So that's a little bit of a cheat. But if somebody thinks paisley isn't floral, then like,
I didn't think it was floral.
Then there we go.
I didn't think it was floral.
It's kind of like the edges of floral. Wow. That's why you definitely see it a lot with like she said, handkerchief print. We see it a lot with pocket squares and ties. And polka dots. Hey, listen, I think polka dot is a good print. I think you can do it strategically too. It's just, like I said, trying to get out of your comfort zone, trying a few different things. It goes a long way.
Okay. I know you love a good tailor.
Yeah.
Why can't I find one that is not very expensive? Is that because I live in the city?
No, I don't think so. I will say, depending on where my clients live, I make recommendations to them. I have a lot of clients that live in the suburbs. I have a fair amount of clients that live in the city. And I actually have quite a lot of clients that like live in a very small pocket of kind of like North Center, Roscoe Village, North Lakeview, all of that. And so I have referred kind of the same person to those people in that kind of like those.
Okay, send that to me.
I'll send it to you. A lot of people assume that having a tailor that you call and make appointments with is going to kind of break the bank. But it doesn't have to. If you're buying something, or if you've bought something that's been in your closet and you need to make some minor alterations like shortening a hem or maybe shortening a sleeve or something like that, a lot of times you could just take it to your dry cleaner. You just put it on for them. They usually have like a little room with a curtain, and you can try it on and just show them where you want it shortened. That's fine. But for other people, like I'm removing a pocket, or I have a dress that's too short, but Heidi said that I could wear it as a top if I shortened it. Those are kind of those special, more unique pieces that I think
you need a tailor for that.
And the other thing is too, is like, what if the tailor tells you it's $30 or $50 to fix it? And maybe in some cases you spent $50 on it. Okay, but if you're not wearing it, it's worthless. If you spend the additional money versus buying a brand new item from a store and you have to go through the whole try-on process and you hate fitting rooms and all of that, why don't you just take the thing you already have and make a small improvement to it? And you're also doing something better for the environment because you're wearing something you already own. And I do this a lot of times with clients that have like a blazer that has like a really wild print, but it's like really cool. But I'm like, if it's a client like you that's more on the petite side, I'm like, Anna, take that jacket to your tailor and have her chop it to a 3/4 sleeve. You can wear it over a t-shirt and ripped jeans on a night out, or you can wear it on air. And if for somebody else, I might tell them, oh, I love that top on you, but the top is kind of closer to a tunic and I need it to be back to that top length that it should be for your frame. So I want you to take it to the tailor. I want you to have her measure 3 inches and it just shorten it all the way around. So like little tiny things like that. If it's taking something you never wear, and it's allowing you to wear it like once a week, once every 2 weeks, wear it to your daughter's graduation, you know, save you, you know, a couple $100s on buying a new outfit, and nobody's seen you wear it anyways because you never wear it. Still has a tag on it. Isn't that great? Yeah. So I think a tailor is a great, probably my biggest line of defense.
Your biggest line of defense. I love it. Okay. Now I want to ask you about a couple of things. Okay. So look, I bought this coat at Loft a while ago. It itches.
Yeah.
I wear it once a season. I sit in the car and it pokes me. Is there a way to get rid of the itchiness, or is it time to let it go?
Okay, if it fits you well, will you put, is it too much to ask you put on over?
It fits me. No, I wanted to put it on because it fits me really well. And I like Courtney Hall, you know, from Chicago Today Chicago, saw me on the air with this and said, oh my God, that's gorgeous. And I'm like, I need to buy a different fabric. It's itching me, it's driving me crazy. And she goes, I thought it was cashmere, which is the reason I bought it. But now it's like, Heidi, is unbearably itchy.
If you looked on the inside of the tag, you might be surprised to find what the fabrication is. It might have a tiny bit of like Angora in it, or it could be 100% wool.
I'm going to tell you what it is, because we looked at it, my husband and I. It's 42% wool, 50% polyester lining, 50% polyester, 7% rayon.
Okay, it's most likely the wool because you don't know what kind of wool it is, and not all wools are the same. But what I would say is, because of the neckline, is that where it itches you?
Everywhere. It pokes me here. It pokes me in the neckline. Yes.
I would say probably the area that most likely gives the biggest irritation is the part that's like touching you directly with the wool fabric. So for that, I would probably say if you have a Burberry scarf or a scarf that has a little bit of that camel but also has a different print in it, just do like a super cute knot here, because you're only wearing that coat when you're cold, right?
Yeah. And like in Chicago, I'll wear it when it's 50. Otherwise, I don't wear it.
Yeah. So I would do like, I would do some sort of a printed scarf of some sort that feels great to have around your neck. That will take up the biggest part that irritates you. I also think the sleeve is just a little bit too long on you, so I would have that shortened. No, why does that matter? You have a couple of parts on your body where the coat's touching you that are kind of have more nerve endings and can be more irritated. One is your neck. Okay, so we've already accomplished, you know, the goal on with kind of preventing irritation with a scarf. Yeah. The other area is the wrist. Surprisingly. Okay. So if you have it just a little bit shorter, your most likely top or sweater that you have on underneath is going to be a little bit longer. Okay. So again, the point that would normally be touching you because the sleeve's a little on the longer side will no longer be touching you. It won't be an issue. All right. I bought this in one of those nondescript websites. Look how pretty it is. But I bought it in a medium and it's a little too big on me. So that's a perfect example of something that you can take to the tailor and have her reduce it on the sides. There's a side seam on one side, a side seam on the other, and all I would have her do is pin it along both sides, and you'll be able to wear it as soon as you get it back. The other thing about that top that's so great is once she takes it in on both sides, you'll be able to tuck it into something high-waisted. You'll be able to belt it, or you'll be able to wear it over like your skinniest of skinny jeans that you get muffin top with, and nobody will be the wiser. And then because of that lighter color, wear one of those really cool necklaces that you shared.
Even though it has all this frilly stuff?
Totally fine. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Here you go. I love it. Heidi, thank you so much, because I love that you have given me solutions for things I love that I don't know how to wear, and for ways to shop too. Because I think because a lot of us shop and don't want to bother the person who's working there, or we don't know how far we can go, or we don't have the budget, what we think the budget for a stylist is. The idea is to just ask and you shall receive. You may not receive the Jennifer Lopez treatment, but you'll receive what you need to look better in the office, to feel better at home, right?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I have clients that have all sorts of budgets. So, while, my what I charge doesn't change, I don't have an incentive to take somebody to this store versus this store. So if someone says, I can spend, $1,000, I'm not going to take them to the highest of high-end places. I want them to get more for their money. And if somebody has like an endless budget, I might play with some high-low for sure. Right. I like everybody to learn something new, no matter what their budget is. And I do like everybody to feel like Jennifer Lopez. So for me, if you're employing me in my services, again, even if it's just for a one-off, I want you to feel so, so good. And after I take somebody shopping, I do go back to that person's home on another date. I take pictures of their new items mixed in with their older items. So it's not just I wear my new with my new with my new, and I still forget about what's in my closet. I integrate those so that way everything feels new and exciting.
I love it. So people can find you on social media under Be Clothes Minded, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Or my website, which is also, Be Clothes Minded.
Your website is also Be Clothes Minded?
Yep.
I love it. Thank you so much. It was so great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me on, Anna. It was wonderful.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Bye. So there you have it. That's what one conversation via text with Heidi prompted, that I can like breathe fresh air into clothing that I didn't know how to wear, or that I didn't think fit me right. I think she gave amazing tips. I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you a different perspective. And again, it's how you feel comfortable and how you want to walk through life. That's on you, right? Like my friend David Begnot says, you do you, boo. All right, we'll see you next Wednesday. Let me know in the comments, what else do you want to see on Wednesday Whine? Who do you want me to talk to? What do you want me to talk to? What do you want me to talk about? And we'll be here every Wednesday, toasting each other and giving each other some love so that we can survive the next few days of the week. Oh, Marlene, these are the pants. I don't know. Heidi insists that I shouldn't get rid of them. I'm still not convinced, but I'm going to maybe stop eating so much, drinking so much, and eating bread. But this is what I figured, Cindy. I am going to give him to my daughter. She can save him in her closet, and I'm working out again, and then I'll figure out what to do with the pants. Thank you, guys. Leave me comments, leave me messages. And if you're on my YouTube channel, subscribe so you can be part of this community that keeps it real.